And the truth will out. We will, after an unspecified period of time, get to the truth. What troubles me and has troubled me from the beginning is the fact that we are discouraged from talking about it, openly. Obviously, when you talk about the hepatitis spike that there has been and all the rest of it, it begs and requires further research and understanding to get to the bottom of that. But while it's actually happening, ought there not to be a free and open conversation that considers all possibilities? Without any suggestion, just bringing down opprobrium and condemnation, as though you have the temerity to challenge what has been pushed as the authority view. And, I mean, the whole push from everyone from Tony Blair to Piers Morgan, dismissing anyone voicing doubts or admitting to hesitation as idiots. I mean, that's actually the word that was used.
Yes.
Idiots and cove-idiots. I mean, in what universe was that ever an approach that was appropriate from authority figures?
Well, I was absolutely astonished because I had some vaccine widows, as I think of them, on a few days ago on the show. And so they retweeted and Instagrammed their interviews with me. These are young women in their 30s who've lost their husbands. It's a brutal thing to become a widow at 32 when you've got a 7-year-old and a 1-year-old boy. The reaction of all the sort of fact checkers and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram is to put these health warnings that this is disinformation. So they're telling this young widow of 32 that her widowhood, the fact of her widowhood that she has to live with, is disinformation. And the Blair, I was glad to hear you go on about Bill Gates because he's part of the expert class like Tony Blair. I have no idea why Tony Blair should be regarded as an expert or should be pronouncing on anything, never mind Piers Morgan. But all these guys, something entirely unexpected comes along. China releases it to 200 nations and territories around the world, and the response of the Western world uniquely is basically to shut down its economy and make everyone poorer and sicker. And then we're told that this unprecedented event and this unprecedented reaction to it is the only acceptable opinion you're allowed to hold on it. That's obvious nonsense. As we now know, the vaccines were, at the very least, oversold, and they don't meet the minimum definition of vaccine. If you took a vaccine for rabies, and in the next 18 months you got rabies 3 times, you'd be thinking, wait a minute, that's not a vaccine. And this no longer meets the definition of a vaccine. And so this big shut-up, we've had this combination of the state taking extraordinary powers, reducing freedom of movement, while out in the wider world, all these social media are also shriveling freedom of speech. Well, if you don't have freedom of movement and you don't have freedom of speech, there's actually not a lot left. They're the 2 core basic freedoms.